So wonderful to be back.
Yes.
Really looking forward. Last session, I think Raghuji wasn't here, right?
I wasn't here.
Yeah. So maybe a quick recap. We started chapter 2, and in chapter 2, it's about what do we mean by the self. So, and one of the things which we discussed was, in our Indian tradition, in olden days when there was these debates or discussions about what are we talking about clearly, they used to have the certain rules, and one of the rules is called Purva Paksha, which means if let's say you're arguing for a particular position and your opponent or interlocutor is telling something else, then first thing you need to do is to be able to talk about his position to his understanding. Let's say you say the self is the body, and I say no, self is not the body, is something else. Then first thing before I make my position is to articulate why the self is the body from what you are telling to your satisfaction.
Okay, so it is to clarify that I understand your position completely from your point of view.
Correct.
First you state that, and then you come back and say what I mean.
Yeah. So this was a very interesting part of the discussion. So these days when we have these debates, it's only people talking past each other.
Correct.
There is nobody
attempts to understand anybody else.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. Our culture is awesome.
Yeah. So today's session, in fact, this is not just in our culture.
Yeah.
Today's session last week I credited it to David Chalmers and Daniel Dennett, though we have not covered them, we'll cover them today. But today, this week's thing, I will give it to Shelley Keegan. He is one of the professors in Yale University. I know him because my daughters went there and did some courses with him.
Okay.
So he has one beautiful course in YouTube called, I was kind of checking him out, like who's this guy? So he has a course called about death. It's like 24 lectures, each one is about an hour, so it's really wonderful. So that's where I got come, Renu Ji. So we are already in chapter 2. We're just starting chapter 2. So it's and this chapter is about who am I, or what is the self. And today we will be discussing more about the body theory. It's Shelley Keegan, who is a professor in Yale. So he had this course about death, and in which he is the one who kind of gave me this idea of how to analyze these things in a systematic way. So he first took, when we say that does something survive after death? That means the question comes is, what is it that survives? Is it the body, or is it the soul, or whatever they're right? So first thing is, you have to clearly understand what is the world view. Like you can have a view telling that there is a soul which goes from one body to another. This is possible. Or somebody may say, there is no soul. So at the end of the thing, the body is dead, means it's the end. And then so he took people through these two possibilities. In the West, unfortunately, they only had dualism and materialism. So dualism is the mind and body is separate, and materialism is there's only material, and from the material is what we are all coming, and when the body goes, everything goes. So he discussed these two things clearly for about 7 or 8 lectures, and then he said, okay, he rejected dualism. That means there is no evidence that there is a soul. And then he said, okay, then provisionally we will take up materialism, and then he continued. But okay, we want to do something similar, but we are going to consider things which he did not consider. He only considered dualism and materialism. We want to consider other possibilities as well. And but the methodology was very beautiful. So that is the thing.
What's the spelling of this?
Shelley, Kegan.
Shelley, Shelley.
Yes. His course on death, but it's a very analytical, but it's very entertaining. Every lecture will be like listening to a TED talk. Okay, so that, having said that background, so let's start with the body theory, which is the, like we can see is, let me do a quick recap of the previous paragraph, 143. So we're asking about the question, who are we? So we can see that in page 43, our second paragraph, our physical form morphs as we age, right? Emotions ebb and flow and memories fade. We don't know what we were in 5 years old. Even yesterday, only a tiny portion of yesterday's memories we even retain. Yet, amid this continuous flux, we hold on to an inherent sense of I, a core identity that remains intact despite the changes we undergo. So this is what we are looking at. What is this I? Is this self merely an illusion, a byproduct of fleeting experiences and mental constructs? Or is there something deeper and more stable beneath the surface? So this is the question which we are asking. Now we move on to page 45, and then we are discussing the body theory. Are we our physical form?
This theory seems straightforward. We are our bodies from birth to death. We identify ourselves and others by physical features, like the famous thought experiment of the ship of Theseus, where every plank is replaced over time, yet it's considered the same ship. Our bodies are constantly changing. Does that mean we are a new person every year, every day?
Yeah. Okay. So we first want to understand what is going for the I am the body. That we are the same body, same self. We are born and then, like, it's very intuitive. We think that we are our body. So this one is like very something which goes for the I am the body theory, because common sense is important. You cannot get rid of common sense and say, hey, it is something else and so on. So that's one positive for that theory. Then all our thoughts and perceptions are intricately connected to our brain. This is like something which modern science has taught us. Like some little thing, you eat heavy a lot, you feel sleepy. You drink coffee, you feel energized. So something goes in, something happens in the brain, and so there is a huge relationship. Or like somebody, like you get hit in your head, you get disoriented. So there is a connection between so it's like a clear sign, hey, there seems to be a direct connection. So why are you telling you're not the body? So this is another strong point which goes there. Third is our experience is primarily embodied. We all feel like a passenger in our body. We are moving through time, we are moving through the world. This is me. Anything outside the skin is not me. Very common, we feel like that, right? When it's like a passenger in the body. Yeah, feel free to talk about whenever you want. And then, legally and socially, we are our bodies. Our ID card, passport is all based on the body. Fingerprint, you go biometrics. And one more thing is, like when the body dies, we don't know. We all talk about Atma and rebirth and all those things, but no one has any evidence for that. This is all just we talk about near-death experiences, some memories from the past lives, but by and large, all those are considered as to say, alternative ways of thinking and not in the mainstream. And most important is, if you tell the physicist about Atma or things like that, he'll say, where is the evidence? Is it measurable? Can any instrument detect it? So I am the body theory is not like it's not like a straw man, or it's not a very easy theory to
Dismiss.
Yeah, it is. It's a very strong arguments why that is correct. So that's something which we should acknowledge. So that's what I'm trying to do. We're talking about the Purva Paksha. We have to first tell what are the strong points of that theory. And then we discuss this ship of Theseus. It's a famous one, right? Do you know the story? Okay, it's like, let's say there is a ship, and let's say we call the name of that ship is Theseus. And then over many years, as and when the ship gets some problem, maintenance, so they keep replacing the planks, they keep replacing the metal and sails. So after 10 years, not even a little part of what was originally there is there in the ship. But let's say somebody has every time they take out a part, they put it in a box. Then after 10 years, is the scrap lying in that box the ship of Theseus, or this functioning ship, the ship of Theseus? So this is a nice question to ask, right? If you look at our bodies, everything in our body is replaced. And one of my friends told me was quibbling with that argument and said, no, there are some neurons which is there right from birth to death. Okay, so does it mean that you are those neurons? Yeah. So the ship of Theseus is an argument, which kind of sets the problem clearly for us. Hey, you've taken out everything. Which one is the ship of Theseus? We can talk about the same thing for us also. Once the body is gone, there is Shiva or Raghu.
From a ship's point of view, it might be, both, but we won't accept it. Say, for example, if I cut my nail and throw it away, and then I don't think I want to accept that this part of me, that is me, very broadly. If I have a haircut and my hair has fallen out, I won't think that is me, It's not me, that's some other hair.
You can even cut away your hands and legs.
But Raviji, let me tell you, some people do, like ladies especially, long hair and all, when they cut, for a long time they feel that a part
my
of
hair
them
is
has
gone.
gone. Yeah. They're pretty, and some people save their baby's locks. When baby go mundan, they save. So it can be pretty illogical.
There's an even deeper psychology in this. Children, babies, when they want to, usually when they are lying down, they want to pass stools and things like that, it's usually cleaned up. They have no idea. Once they are aware and they're moving around, I have seen this in my son also, and we've read it in books, that they take some deeper ownership with what they produce.
Yeah.
At that age, it's somehow they feel an ownership for that. You're saying you're discarding, no? They have discarded something there, but they continue to have some ownership that it came from me, therefore it's mine. I don't know. I don't have enough skills or the tools to say and to analyze and say why that happens. But there is a connection with.
Correct. So that means there is something very strong about
Very strong.
I am the body. But we will see there are some questions. Like what about, like, say, when a mother gives birth? Like you get two cells, right?
But the attachment is so strong.
Yeah.
Recently, I got a tooth removed. I think I told you. For some
Are
time,
you
I
happy to
kept
throw it away or you kept it?
No, that's what. First of all, it was amazing that it was so
This-
big.
this
you
is,
know,
uh,
I thought
Inside,
it was very small,
Yeah.
but when it came out, it was huge. So
Yeah.
Vish is saying like the Buddha tooth temple, we
Yeah.
build a temple around it.
No, actually, this is a very, very good example. When children's teeth would fall, for every
Tooth
tooth,
fairy.
we used to attach so much importance to that tooth. We used to feel that, oh, this is your tooth. It was very precious for us. And then we would put it under their pillows. And then in the morning, we would say the tooth fairy came and gave you
Yeah.
$10 for this.
Same.
And then we would get them to go and throw
So
it
the-
into the water.
So
Yeah.
whatever is in the field of senses which we can grasp, we think that's us. Which is beyond, we don't know.
Belonging to the body.
Belonging to the body only at the moment.
Yeah, because it can be perceived, felt, and we can feel it. So it's like in the field of experience because of our sensory.
No, our bodies only. For now, we are talking about, sure.
So
Yeah.
because it is graspable because of our senses.
Correct.
And we think, yeah, it is there in front of us, and we see the changes, whatever experiences we are going through. We can, have the ownership, as we say, yeah, this is what is happening.
But then again,
But again,
once
there
it's
is-
not of use, it's very easy to discard it also, right?
Yeah.
Like the tooth example that Raghuji gave. At that point, it might have had significance, but within 2 days, everybody moves on.
I mean, we even at the end of the day, when the body dies, we cremate it and move on. It may take some time, but
Yeah.
But one thing that if you notice that all of us are saying is, this is my body. But do we say this is me? See, there's a
We do
subtle
say.
difference. No,
okay.
this is my hand, this is my leg, this is my toe. We even say this is my head, this is my brain. Everywhere, this is I'm creating an ownership, but I'm not saying that
This
brain is me.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see, there's a
Absolutely,
difference.
yeah. I mean, that is going to be our one of the
Arguments for-
arguments for the other side.
Other side.
Right now, I'm just steel manning the.
So, let's establish the.
Many years of
I am
Gita
the
and all
Puru
that.
Paksha.
Yeah.
Yeah. But since we have spent so many years, like from the birth, when we also teach the children, oh, where is your eyes? Yeah, so this is like we kind of tell the kid that is the
Program.
body is you. We make very clear
Very
signals there. Okay. So let me read the next paragraph because I just want to stop from time to time there. The body theory also struggles to explain our rich inner world of thoughts and feelings. How can a physical body account for the vast array of perceptions, ideas, dreams, and emotions we experience? This is what philosopher David Chalmers calls as the hard problem of consciousness. I mean, it's very important to understand this hard problem. Basically, what he's trying to tell us, you have all these physical things, and how a combination of these physical things somehow produces an experience, right? Like an emotion or a thought, even a perception. So this is the hard problem of consciousness. We will look more into it, but for now, just the beginning of this. So when this question comes, how does the brain produce these emotions, thoughts, perceptions is the question. So for which the materialists need to give an answer, right? The other side. They say some materialists like Daniel Dennett. Daniel Dennett is one of the strongest materialists. Challenge our everyday intuitions about consciousness. We might think of it as a singular unified experience, but Dennett suggests it may be more like an illusion or a useful fiction that emerges from the brain's complex workings. So imagine a magic trick. The magician relies on clever mechanisms and well-rehearsed steps hidden from the audience to create a dazzling illusion. Like when we go to a magic show, we can see like the so-called the Indian rope trick. He always refers to that, where it looks like the magician creates throws a rope up, and then the rope stands straight, and somebody climbs up and just goes, disappears. Or we have these illusions where they cut somebody into pieces and then suddenly the person emerges. All of this looks very real. So he says, oh, then according to Dennett, all our thoughts, emotions, perceptions which we have are all like this magic trick. So for him, he says, oh, literally what is going on is some neurons firing in the brain, and then you are experiencing it like this. And this experience which you have has no impact on what's going on in the brain. I mean, this is just a show. What's going on in the brain just goes on. So that is his rebuttal or the way to describe it. Dennett proposes that our subjective experience of consciousness, I mean about who we are and what we are conscious, including our sense of self, intentionality, meaning our ability to think about something, and qualia, which is redness, spiciness, all of these things, might be products of the brain's integrate processes. So this is their explanation.
He's discounting consciousness and saying it's all related to the body and brain being part of the body. It's how the brain is reacting to experiences.
Yeah, brain is just some neurons are firing and you experience whatever you are experiencing. So the entire experience we have is explained by neural processes and period. And he says, oh, you see, you take alcohol, you feel light and dizzy. You take coffee, you feel, so yeah,
It's all brain.
everything is in the brain. So I hit your brain, you go blank. So brain is
Part of the body. So
part of the body, and all of your experience and consciousness and whatever you're talking about can be explained by the brain. So you don't need any Atma and all of this. That is
So
just
the state of the brain determines what you are thinking.
yes.
It's a very powerful argument.
It
Yes.
is.
It's very difficult
Especially if you
to
take into account
discount this.
drugs and all that, how it can alter the
Yeah.
Reality.
reality.
The reason is that you are not able to even to yourself show evidence that actually consciousness is beyond that. I mean, we are not going there at all, but it's that consciousness could be something beyond this physicality that we have all. So it's a very strong argument. We are all satsangis, we go to the thing. Who can actually say with certainty through experiential evidence that their consciousness is beyond the body? We are actually learning this through a text. The text is telling us, Krishna is telling us, and we are believing it. We have that faith to believe that what is being told is actually the truth. And we are going through that process.
Yeah.
Maybe can Raghuji, you read the next paragraph?
Yeah. Some materialists that we are done.
No,
right?
next one.
The main objection to materialism or physicalism
Physical.
or physicalism is the explanatory gap. Despite significant progress in neuroscience showing links between the neural processes and our conscious experiences, these links remain correlational. There is no causal explanation of how neurological processes result in experiences. How precisely does the firing of neurons translate into subjectivity and the various subjective experiences? At present, there are no satisfactory explanations, And this lack of explanation creates a significant challenge for materialism.
Now we have the question back to the
Materialists.
tenet.
Huh.
And the materialists will say, I mean, it is a very compelling argument, right? Everything is related to the brain.
But there is one question. If
Yes.
this is through the brain, then everybody should experience the same way. Like if the experiences should be same, whatever they go through, the perception should be same because the way of working, the brain working should be the same in all the.
No, but what if you say that some brains are designed a little different, some are like, in fact that's what we say, no, that के उसका दिमाग बहुत तेज है, which means that they are able to
More gray matter,
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, but it's a valid question. But that's exactly, I think Jyoti ji was precisely giving you the response that yeah, each brain is different. They'll just say each brain is different.
So all the experiences they produce are different because all the brains are different.
different,
Yes.
yeah, physically.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also not just that, right? So it's also the experiences that, let's say, for just constricting it to the discussion about materialism, it is that brain's experience, that's shaping how the brain is interpreting any upcoming event also. So two different brains may have two different experiences. So the learning is also very different. So the brain one brain says something very different from the other brain.
Yeah.
So that can also be an explanation.
Because maybe the neurons differ.
Yeah.
The neurons differ.
Yeah, and of course the intelligence part that you
And
spoke
then we
about.
can talk about like how DNA distributed differently when we are being formed.
Everything can be discussed at the level of
Physical.
DNA's.
DNA and all that.
So this is the thing which we now, our response to
That.
that
So
one.
till now we have been in the materialism.
Correct.
Okay.
Now we want to respond to,
To that.
hey, okay. So despite significant progress in neuroscience showing links between neural processes and our conscious experiences. Yes, of course, neuroscience is showing us a lot. These links remain correlational. What is the meaning of correlation? For the brain processes, you can have through fMRI studies and through brain imaging, you can say that whenever a certain experience is happening, certain parts of the brains are active. Okay, this set of neurons is firing with the amygdala firing, you feel fear. If there is a lot of dopamine in the brain, you feel light and happy.
Happier.
And if there is a lot of oxytocin, then you feel more bonded. This is all there, but there is no causal relationship between them. You can find that whenever this is there, that is there. That doesn't mean this caused that.
So the
you
correlation is missing.
the correlation is there.
Causation.
No causation.
is missing.
Causation is missing.
Because causation requires a explanation. Okay.
We're not able to, let us say, we are not able to directly prove that causation. We don't have the faculties to.
You mean what
Can we
causes
say that?
that dopamine to be produced?
Why
More
one day
in
you
some,
feel
yeah,
happy?
No, you can create. You can explain why
Dopamine,
the dopamine
yeah.
is going up.
Yeah.
Maybe they will say, okay, because you have taken some drug or
Piece of chocolate.
piece of chocolate. All of that is again chemical. But then, where is the experience coming from? Okay, I wanted to bring an apple. 1 second. So we will, this apple is going to help us through this chapter. So we have the apple, right? So it's got a certain color, certain texture, shape, and if you bite it, it is crunchy, and so on. So what science can tell us very clearly, neuroscience is, oh, there is some light waves entering from here to our retina, and then which triggers some electrical reaction, and then it goes to the brain, the visual cortex or whatever is fires, there is some electrical things happening, chemical things happening. All this is all clear. But then I see an apple. I have the crunchiness, the taste of the apple, or I feel the texture. All of this is, where did all this chemical explanation suddenly become taste and an experience?
I can
itself?
even imagine the taste of the apple. When I look at the apple, I can imagine, oh, when I bite into it, it'll be juicy. So that experience part is,
Remains.
And even the imagination,
yeah,
Because you have experienced
Imagination.
it before.
even the imagination,
yeah.
you can't explain with chemicals, right? How did chemicals become imagination? So what neuroscience is giving us is all these explanations, and these are very useful. I'm not discounting it or anything like that, because we take, if somebody is depressed, they take a medicine and it works sometimes. So it's, but that doesn't tell you that, oh, this is the cause. So this one is, these are two different things. Okay, we know the correlations, science has explained it, we take good advantage of it, and that's okay. But then to say that you are your body because of that, then it's a huge jump.
Is it essential that, say, the experience needs to be the same for there to be a consistent explanation? For example, if I just look at an apple.
Something on?
Yes. If we all look at the apple, I think we all can imagine very similar experiences. So biting into that apple and how would it taste, the feeling of the texture in our mouth. Experiences are very similar. So the thoughts that are going in our brains is very, very similar. So about anything that you experience, is that enough when the explanation is common and uniform across, more or less uniform across different sets of people to explain a causation?
A causation typically will require a conceptual connection. That means, let's say, for example, let's say there's an assembly line of cars. You have the different materials coming. You have iron and plastic and whatever, all those things coming, and then from there those various parts are formed. We know the laws of physics by which it is done, and then we have the people assembling it or robots assembling it. Every part of the production of the car, starting from the raw materials to the labor to output, is explainable. There's nothing mysterious. Okay, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. And there's a conceptual connection. Whereas, now you take the example of, I've taken the analogy of a television, and television is similar. You can explain everything about the television. You know the parts, electronic parts, you know about the microwaves or the electromagnetic waves are coming in, you know the volume control, this, everything you know. But suddenly you get a experience, right? A picture, like what when we see. So that is unexplainable. How all these microwaves and radio waves and so on suddenly became an image. So this is unexplainable. So that's the
Science can explain how a television functions, detailing the circuits, pixels, and electronics that produce images and sound. We can observe how adjusting the brightness or changing channels affects what appears on the screen. Much like neuroscientists can observe how different brain states correspond with changes in conscious experience. However, even with this understanding, it does not explain how the physical pixels and sound waves become the rich, immersive experience of watching a movie.
yeah.
That's what just
Yeah,
now.
that's how we discussed.
Shall I read the next one?
Yes.
We understand the mechanics of how signals are transmitted and displayed. However, the leap from those electrical signals to the experience of engaging with a story, feeling, emotions, and understanding meaning remains a mystery. In the same way, neuroscience shows how neurons fire and networks light up, correlating with conscious thought and sensation. But it does not explain how these processes give rise to the vivid subjective experience of being aware. This is the crux of the hard problem of consciousness. How do physical processes in the brain translate into the inner world of perceptions, thoughts, feelings, and awareness?
So, the main idea we wanted to discuss today was to get clear about what is this hard problem of consciousness. Just as a recap for today, the main thing is, I am the body seems like a very intuitively appealing prospect, and we all have lived with that for so many years. Of course, we studied the Gita, so we have an understanding that it is not really the body but Atma and all those things. But this I am the body is a very strong intuition which we have. But then, if you look very closely, we come to this situation that there is something which is totally unexplainable by this assumption of the theory.
And also, if I'm my body, I have no control on it. Really.
Yes,
Because whatever changes are happening, they are happening on their own.
yes.
I have no control. If I am only my body, I should have control over it. Like how my heart beats or how I'm breathing. No control, they are happening on their
Yeah,
own.
that is another argument against. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, correct.
So if I don't have any control over it, then what signals it is taking from, what it is following, and what happens to me when I'm not my body.
The heartbeat, it just happens by
On its
itself.
own, yeah. And breathing, if
Mhm.
they are kept to, if we are in charge of that, maybe we would have lost it by now, long ago, right? So yeah, a lot of things. People don't even know they have kidney stones, the liver is not functioning, half the cells are not. Why would people have cancer if they have control over the body? Why would they go through all the sufferings and all that?
Yes,
These
very,
are the
very,
things we have
very,
to
very
sit
nice
down
point.
and think.
Yeah.
If you don't sit down and think about it and just go around doing things normally
Yeah.
like we've been taught, that's it.
And also then nobody would like to grow old. If we have control, we would want to be the same always.
Which a lot of people want to.
They're trying very hard fighting against the flow, yeah.
So the whole point is, once you start, as you just said, once you start digging in and understanding, okay, this assumption seems totally wrong. And then about common sense we discussed, right at the beginning. You cannot just get rid of common sense. 1000 years ago, the sun rising in the east and setting in the west is common sense.
Correct.
Until they figured out that it's not the
Not rising, not
setting, it's just the earth which is rotating. And but we still, even now we say sun rises in the east and sets in the, and that's okay.
Yeah.
For transactional purposes, for convenience, we can say that, we can enjoy the sunset.
Yeah.
We can write poetry about it, but that doesn't mean that is true.
Yeah. Bigger picture is different.
The bigger picture is,
There the causation is explained.
yeah,
When we see that, it's not really a sun rising in the east, setting in the west. And because we now know that the earth is actually spinning around its axis and rotating around the sun, we have that perception of east and west, that causation is explained.
But if that was not taught in the school,
We would assume that it was east and
we
west.
would still be saying East.
Like the 1000 years ago.
We have been
explanation.
taught.
yes.
Nobody has experienced it.
Correct, exactly. You know, have you ever experienced earth spinning? No?
Yeah. No?
And also, if it is only the brain functioning and our body responding, then they should know that what happens when we are younger, like metabolism is faster, and our body has a lot of more ATP deposits, and there is lesser decay of the cells. Then what chemicals are causing that? They could have maintained those levels and remain the same, but they couldn't do that. They tried very hard, but so far there is nobody we know who is immortal or who stayed young for like 80 years, still the same like how he looked at 60. We don't know
Yes,
anybody.
all this
else.
is-
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So I think we have covered a little bit of this, but there's another argument which is even stronger against the body theory. So we will do that in the next session. So for now, we will do a meditation. We will take our stand as awareness. I think for Renuji it is new, but for the rest of us we
She
know.
does a
what-
lot of meditation.
But she has done a lot of other
Art
things.
of
So
living.
this way of thinking is the same. But I'm just telling that maybe the way to talk about it might be a little different. But I'm sure you will easily fit in. Let it be on. So let's sit comfortably. Anywhere is fine. Yeah, feel free to put your leg up. Let's take a deep breath in. And relax. For the next 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to put aside all our worries. Whatever comes up, we know we can deal with it later. So for this 15 minutes, we're going to just let it go. Let's take our stand as the awareness or the witness that is witnessing everything which is happening around us. Become aware of the sounds, the sound of the air conditioner, my voice, these arise in consciousness and fade away. Some are a bit more continuous and some little less. Become aware of the weight of your body on the chair. This is also a sensation arising in consciousness, and you are a witness of it. Become aware of the breathing. Don't need to control it. Notice that the breathing arises, breathing in and out naturally. You are the witness of your breathing. Suddenly you may notice that some thoughts arise. And these thoughts also arise and fade away on their own. You are the witness of the thoughts. We call some of these experiences as internal. Example would be thoughts, breathing, bodily sensations. We just call them as internal. And maybe the sound of my voice, the sound of the air conditioner, we call it as external. Notice that this internal and external divide is valid only if you think that you are the body. If you are the body, it makes sense to say anything outside the body is external and anything inside the body is internal. When you take your stand as awareness, then the distinction between internal and external collapses. The sound of my voice, the sound of the air conditioner, the breathing, thoughts, bodily sensations, all of them arise and fall in awareness. Stay with this for a few minutes. If any thoughts arise, just do not engage with it. Let it go. Come back to yourself as awareness. if you want, you can keep moving between what you earlier thought was external and what you earlier thought was internal. Say between the sound of the air conditioner and the bodily sensation. Just to notice that both of them are seamlessly existing in the same continuum. It's like two different patterns of clouds appearing in the same sky. Now slowly become aware of your breath. The sensations of your body touching the chair. The surroundings. And when you're ready, slowly and gently you can open your eyes.
I don't know when I went to sleep.
Even we heard some snoring. Good.
Thank you.
Any reflections before we get our coffee?
Meditation was far better than all the discussion. You know, words can't reach there really, right?
Come on, yes.
Yeah.
Our minds are usually curious. So, I mean, it is very good if we can take these things on faith and then we can progress very fast. That's what is the bhakti traditions
Correct.
and all those things are telling us.
Yeah.
But invariably, because of our common sense, the way we have been acclimatized and the constant message that you are your body keeps coming from the external world, it's get very easy to get lost in that way of behavior. So to be able to sustain this, one is of course meditation is very important. The other thing is once we get clarity, like we know, even though when we know, now we know that the sun doesn't rise and set and we talk about it, we have made poems about it, but we're not never fooled by it,
That's true.
right? So to get that clarity that we are not our body, we can still talk ourselves as like a body, we can have our ID cards, we can have our bank accounts, but we will not get fooled by it for a long period of time. So this is the advantage of getting clear.
And today I learned how we, because of being in this Indian culture, we take things for like, it's like imbibed in our day-to-day life. Like, you know how we talk about, oh, some previous connection must have been there. This person looks so familiar and how we bonded so well. Must be some previous. How, you know, in day-to-day talks is so imbibed in us that we don't even think that way. We never inquired that way. We always, you know, it is like there. We all know that. Some way or the other, it comes like some of my karma now I have to repay
Yes.
that, है ना? So, but Westerners, they don't have these type of culture, and they don't talk like this. So they have a very different inquiry. So it was good to learn and go back to the first, that there is inquiry, and then you find answers step by step.
Even in our culture, we consider individuals to be individuals. We don't, even though we say Atma and all those things, but I am the body is more or less there for transactional purposes.
Without that, you can't function.
We can't function.
Yeah.
But we don't like, when we most of the time our identity is body mind. That Atma is there when we talk about it.
No, even the Atma, we don't consider it as a universal thing. It's like my Atma.
Correct, yeah.
Correct. It's not like we are in the consciousness. Like
Yeah.
we don't.
Correct, yeah. So this is like, oh, this Atma has certain features.
Yeah.
It's not that the Atma is also not just pure consciousness. Atma means like what? Atma is good Atma, bad Atma.
Yeah.
This Atma comes with this karma. All those things are taken for granted. So this is like we are now looking even closer. We will come to that. Whether there is one Atma or many Atma is another section in the
So
book.
step by step.
Step by step. Yes, anything else? Then we can go for our coffees.